Welcome to the third part of this GryphonArt Christmas decoration tutorial. It may be that you have already completed the previous tutorials in this set, or you may just be interested in wash, paint, finish methods. Either way, we are now ready to move on to the next phase. Now that I am confident that my paint finish has had time to cure, I'm ready to apply my wash or glaze, as it is often also called, which is just a very watery or thin coat of coloured paint. I normally use Winsor & Newton Artist's acrylic paint thinned down with water. I've used yellow ochre on cream backgrounds such as this in the past, but the impact is quite subtle, and on such a small piece as I'm working with today, I want to achieve more of a contrast, so I'm going to use raw umber. I have already prepared a solution, which I'm going to show you, and I hope that you can see that it is quite thin. The tools that I'm going to be using for this task simply comprise of 2 paintbrushes and an absorbent rag or cloth, so nothing fancy. I'm going to start by coating my shape fairly liberally with the wash. I'm then going to take a dry brush to start removing the excess, particularly from areas where I don't want the paint. I keep the brush dry by wiping it on my absorbent cloth. If your wash doesn't appear to be adhering to any surface, you can let it dry out a little. And if you find you have removed more excess than you want, you can always apply more wash and repeat the process. As the wash becomes more dry, I can also use my cloth to wipe it away from any areas that I want to be cleaner than the brush can achieve. This does involve a little bit of trial and error to obtain the unique look that you desire. So I'm going to reapply some more wash and repeat this process until the embossed element is looking more defined. This is going to be easier for me if I'm not looking through the camera lens, so I will come back to you once this has been achieved. Right, I have now reached a point where I am happy with the effect, although this is very personal, and trust me when I say that you can fiddle with this part of the process endlessly. Hopefully you will be able to see the raised embossed section more easily now, and this may help you to see the areas where you need to remove your wash. The approach is basically to keep the raised areas as clean as possible, leaving the wash to dry in the low sections, particularly at the point that it meets the higher areas. As the wash dries here, it leaves a thin defining line which emphasizes the 3D effect. The embossing in this instance was not that raised up, so the effect was more difficult to achieve and perhaps not the best subject for a beginner. I will endeavour to create some specific paint finish tutorials for you so that this subject area is more thoroughly covered. When this wash dries thoroughly, it is pretty resilient, and although I am going to apply some thin layers of protective varnish, bearing in mind that this item is only going to be hanging on a tree, this phase is arguably unnecessary. If you choose to apply varnish yourself, then you might be interested to know that I am using a Ronseal product. It's a clear version of Ronseal quick drying varnish with diamond hard protection, and it has a matte finish to it. It's an interior varnish. The method of application is exactly as we used for the original paint layers, so a very small amount of varnish on a piece of sponge wiped over the surface. Once this has been done, I will come back to you so that we can get started on the decorations.
Thank you for watching part 3 of this tutorial. If you wish to view the method I used for my own decorations, please see the other tutorials in this set, which will be listed for you next.